Well, hello everyone. So I'm going to try and do 31 videos. So one video for each day of October. And I wanted to, of course, do at least majority of them as kind of spooky themed stuff. Because why not? It's October. So the one I'm going to do is a little bit more light, as I am going to be talking about some awesome kid-friendly, spooky stuff to watch. So, the first one on the list, and mainly because I just seen it recently, I didn't just see it, but we were watching it recently, is Hotel Transylvania. Now there's two of them, I'm pretty sure there's only two. And the movie is a mixture of cuteness with spookiness, and it's just really lovely and adorable and everything. The story basically is that Dracula owns this hotel, where he runs it basically, where, all the spooky creatures come to stay, the werewolf, invisible man, etc. And he has a daughter who is having her birthday. I think it's like her 118th birthday or whatever. I mean, they're vampires, so they're hundreds of years old. And one day, a normal human guy stumbles upon them, and his daughter, Mavis, and him kind of develop, like, this thing for each other. They like each other and everything. As far as, two characters will like each other in a children's movie. And, she kind of has to, well, they all kind of, have to kind of get around this whole prejudice thing about humans and these creatures and such. And then the second movie deals with them being together and their son, and Dracula wanting the kid to be more vampire-like. So, I mean, like I said, it's a sweet movie with a little bit of spectacular stuff mixed in, and they're both really funny and cute. This list cannot go on, and it would not be complete, even though I'm not at the end. But just know, this has to be mentioned, so I might as well mention it now and get it out of the way. And that's The Nightmare Before Christmas. This movie can be kind of long to watch, it seems, even though it's not very long at all. And I don't have a copy of it. Actually, I don't have any copies on hand right now, as you can see. But I don't have an actual copy because I want it on Blu-ray. And every time it's been expensive. It's been like $30 or so, if not more. Because honestly, they only bring it out once a year. And that way, I mean, they have the DVD now. It is on Netflix too, if by some reason you've never seen this movie. So, the movie starts out, and let me just say, this movie is fantastic. Like, for the time it was made, and, it's stop motion and everything. I mean, I do like a lot of, like, the computer graphic Pixar kind of movies and everything, but there was just something about these kind of movies, like The Nightmare Before Christmas, that was, stop motion and everything, and these things were made from clay, and stuff like that, and, people just, they made these, and Jack, himself had, like, several heads. Actually, when I say several, it's an understatement. I think there was, like, over 50, maybe. And just the work, if you read about this movie, just the work that went into that is just fascinating to hear about. And they really just don't make kind of these cartoons anymore. But basically, it starts out, there's a bunch of trees, and they all lead to certain worlds of holidays. Like, there's one for Christmas, which is the Christmas tree, and then, turkey for Thanksgiving. But of course, we go into the Halloween world where Jack Skellington lives. And he's the Pumpkin King. But this year, Jack is kind of bored with Halloween. I mean, he's done this over and over again. And he wants to explore something new. And then he discovers, the Christmas world. And things kind of, go down from there. He kidnaps Santa Claus. And there's these creepy presents that kids are getting. And, it's got fantastic songs and, like I said, great animation. And it's just, one of those kind of spooky kid goth staple kind of things, Then, coming again from Tim Burton, next to one I just recently watched, and I'll talk about that one now because I just watched it a little while ago. It was good. I thought it could have been a little bit longer, but I like the idea of it, and that's Frankenweenie. And this, I think, was based around a short film that he made years ago. But basically, a boy's dog dies, and he brings it back to life. And a Frankenstein, classic movie, kind of feel to it. And if I remember right, the entire cartoon was actually in black and white, which I thought was interesting and everything, because I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be set in modern times, but I couldn't really remember. I was also kind of busy going back and forth watching this one, so unfortunately I really didn't get the chance to watch it, which I will, but like I said, it's not very long, but I like the concept behind it. And then the next one would be The Corpse Bride. Now, some people argue that they like this one better than Nightmare Before Christmas, and it has a different atmosphere. This one is a little bit more, I don't know, it's sort of like, a gothic romance kind of thing. Like, it's not, it doesn't have that, I mean, it does have creepy stuff to it. I mean, it is about this man named Victor who, I guess you would call it an arranged marriage, because him and Victoria, they never really spoke to each other, and they're getting married to kind of fix their family's, like, financial problems, if I remember correctly. And this is set in England, if I'm correct on that, I believe so. And so they're practicing for their wedding, and he goes off to, kind of clear his head and just think about things and, his future. And he starts to practice his vows, and he kind of touches, like, this twig and everything, not knowing it's, like, actually the hand, or, this, like, symbol of a hand of Emily, who is a dead person, who was killed, basically, on the night she was supposed to be married. And much like The Nightmare Before Christmas, this one has a lot of fun songs. But like I said, the atmosphere is different. The Nightmare Before Christmas was kind of whimsical in a way, with Jack, as a skeleton, discovering Christmas and stuff like that. And you had Oogie Boogie and, his little kids. And that one was a little bit more spooky and creepy with a, like, in a kid way. But this one's, I guess, a little bit darker in the sense of Emily and betrayal, it hurt and everything, but it's still really good. It's just a different atmosphere, like I said. So, 2 movies I will put together, actually 3, because they have the same actress in them. Again, I plan on doing one for comedy, horror, or horror comedy, whichever order you want to put that in. However, this one has to go on this list too, because it is kind of family, kid-friendly, and, some of these won't be for all age groups, some things might be a little bit more mature for like little kids, but it's still not really overly graphic and this and that. The Addams Family movies, which are, you know, the 90s movie adaptations of the TV show and the comic and everything, which are a lot of people, but mainly we're focusing here on Wednesday because she's fabulous, which was portrayed by Christina Ricci in these movies. And just the acting and everything on that one, it's just perfect and everything. There's also, I can't remember what her name is, and I'll have to look it up. But there was somebody that did, and this one really isn't, like, I would say kid-friendly because it's more adult. But it's called Adult Wednesday Addams 2, and for portraying her as an adult, I think that person, that YouTuber, which, oh my god, I'm going to have to look this up again because I really don't remember her name. But anyways, that one was pretty funny, so you should check it out. It's called Adult Wednesday Addams, if you can find it, because I think they were taking it off for copyright. But in one of the movies, I can't remember, it might have been the second one, that whole thing about the Thanksgiving play and everything, and just the little saying speech, whatever she gave, that was just hilarious. And the whole thing with that poor kid who liked her. Just that simple answer of, what would you do if you had a man who worshipped you, or, you know, gave you everything, or whatever he said, something along that line. And she goes, I would pity him. Like, oh my god, that is so straightforward, kind of dark for a kid. And then another one, which she was a little bit older, playing in, is Casper, which this one is a little bit more of a fun one. Not so spooky, actually a little less spooky and creepy than The Corpse Bride or The Nightmare Before Christmas, or even The Addams Family. So this one basically is about a teen girl who moves with her father. Her mother has passed away, because in these kind of movies, a parent is always dead. And of course they move into the house where Casper is. And this one is just a little bit more lighthearted and fun. And I don't know. I know Casper is, or was, a cartoon, you know, years ago and everything. But for God's sakes, did they ever explain why his uncles were so mean to that poor kid? I mean, he's already dead. Give him a break. Two that are not really spooky, but do have monsters in them, would be Monsters vs. Aliens, which are about a bunch of monsters that are locked up. One of them being a woman who was hit by this comet or whatever. And she grows ginormous, so they call her Ginormica, which is awesome. And so aliens are invading, and they get their freedom to go and fight these aliens. Then, of course, there's Monsters, Inc. This one's just super fun. Basically, monsters go and scare children because screams, like, empower their city. Like, it keeps their electricity going and everything else like that. And then one day a child follows them, and one of the monsters becomes kind of attached to her. And it's just a cute movie. I have not seen Monsters University, so if it's any good, let me know. Another one would be Coraline, which I read. This is one of the few times that I actually got to read a book before I seen the movie. I love reading it and everything, but I always seem so late on the popular stuff. Well, I never hear about anything good until it's becoming a movie. Then I either have to rush and read it, or I have to see, or I end up seeing the movie first and then reading the book and everything. But I actually caught the book before I seen the movie, and both of them have this creep factor to them. Honestly, I kind of thought the book was a little bit creepier. The movie has a different feel to it. I think they're scary, creepy in their own way, but it's definitely another fun movie. I believe it was Dakota Fanning who voiced Coraline, but she did a great job with that. Coraline originally was British, so I don't know. Maybe that's... I was kind of wondering why they didn't make her, or why they said it in America instead of England, but either way, she did a great job of bringing the character to life. I really think, you know, she kind of brought out the, you know, characteristics of Coraline, even though, you know, not British. But basically, if you have not seen Coraline or read Coraline, I recommend both. Coraline is a young girl who moves into a house with her family, as children do, and she finds this mysterious door that leads her to another world, like kids do. And there she discovers she has another mother. First, the other mother seems okay. Then things start turning creepy. And then finally on this list, it's not a movie, but it is a TV show. And it definitely had its creep factors to it. I wasn't like an avid watcher of it, but I've seen a lot of the episodes, and they are just out there and everything. And that is Courage the Cowardly Dog. And basically it is about a little dog on this isolated farm, or whatever you want to call it, who encounters a lot of supernatural things, like alien chickens and talking eggplant and stuff like that. And it's just weird, creepy, fun. So anyways, that is just kind of a short list of some kid-friendly spooky movies and such that you could watch with your family. And I know there's a whole lot more. Maybe there'll even be a part 2 to this. I don't know. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.